What's up, good people? Happy Sunday afternoon. I'm glad that you guys took time out to stop by. I know there's not a lot going on. There's not a whole lot going on right now because we are in the hold your breath holding pattern of the NFL season where we're praying that nobody, and I mean nobody on our team, slips on out going by the pool or cuts their hand on while they're working on a bagel or go to the wrong club and have shit happen. We just want everybody to get to training camp happy, healthy, and not in trouble. And before we get started, I know we're gonna have plenty of Eagle fans in here. Let me start this party off right.
Fuck them birds. Fly, Eagles, fly. Now we shoot those birds out of the sky. Stupid dumbasses managed to give up a 3rd and 30 to my sexy arm. Pathetic defense and team. No wonder I own those piece of shit frauds every damn year. Don't get me started on the fans. You boo me while I earned a respected award. Losing the Super Bowl was just karma for you fuckheads. I can't wait to drop 100 on your heads next season while being the daddy of the NFC East again.
Gotta love Dak.
Preemptive strike on you Eagles fans, because we know you guys are going to be coming in here. Y'all are crazy, cray. Y'all are seriously cray. So let me get my crew up in here and say hello. How are you? What's up, good people? I got to grab something over off of the other desk. I've been out of practice here. Practice? We talking about practice because I haven't been here, but I need my streaming deck. But say hello, everybody. Troy, say hello to my little friends.
Hello, little friends.
So, Troy, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling actually a ton better. Actually, now we're getting these things under control, the wounds under control, and I probably will be back home in the next 2 weeks.
Well, that's great to hear, man. I'm glad to hear that. If you got your health, you got everything. You know, it's like from that point on, you can do anything. Get this thing set up here. Let me say hello to James Nooks is also in the house. What's up, James?
What's going on?
Man, I'm just living the dream here and just trying to fight back against all these Eagles and trolls and all the misinformation that we get out here from all the talking heads and stuff. I have to thank Rashid now, or actually I have to thank you guys for helping out with the GoFundMe for Rashid. Rashid, of course, who's right back over here passed out. I was doing a video earlier today. I was sitting here and just talking and all that. And then all of a sudden, Rashid arose and just started laughing like crazy because Boss Cowboy, actually it was Philly 500. Let me read exactly what it was. Philly 500 had sent a clip and I hadn't responded back to him. Let's see. Where is Philly? What it was Boss Cowboy had tweeted, Dak is a better, more mobile version and more accurate, tougher version of Warren Moon on pace for a Hall of Fame career. That was what Boss Cowboy tweeted out, right? And so, see, I hear Rashid rolling over there. And I commented back to him. I said, well, that's true. And he said, which part? You don't possibly think Dak is better than Warren Moon, do you? And I said, well, I said, it depends on, I didn't respond to it, but it really depends on how long he plays. Warren Moon was an incredible quarterback. You know, he did play in Canada and in the USFL and all that stuff. And if you put together the amount of yards he passed for, he did pass for more than anybody else. But here's the thing about Warren Moon. Warren Moon did not have the playoff success. Warren Moon had 291 touchdowns, but he also had 233 interceptions. Now, you look at Dak Prescott right now in his short career, he's got 166 touchdowns, and I want to say 61 interceptions. That's like 2.5 to 1 TDs to interceptions. You're close with Warren Moon to like 1 to like 0.85. Am I crazy? You see, this is where you have perception versus reality on things. Again, Warren Moon, believe me, Warren Moon was incredible. But There's not the playoff success, and there are a lot of turnovers. And having a discussion, and is Rashid going to put that video on his channel? Oh, man. We were having a major discussion on this because the things that happen with Dak Prescott, the knocks on Dak Prescott don't happen with anybody else. Okay, because here's my question is, you take Matthew Stafford over Dak Prescott? Right? Because it's like, oh, you kidding me? He's got a Super Bowl ring. Yeah, but, and they also say he was one of the fastest people to 50,000 yards. But if you were playing for the Lions and pretty much losing every year, weren't you playing in garbage time?
Not to mention he was having to throw the ball in garbage time.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. So it's shaded. You were on one of the worst teams in the history of football. So, of course, you were always behind and you weren't running the football. You were passing the ball, which means you're going to have things skewed. But the funny thing about the argument was Rashid was like, well, Warren Moon was on garbage teams.
How do you become a Hall of Famer as a
So wait a minute. So you'll make excuses for why other people didn't succeed, but Dak doesn't get those buys. Oh, no, I'm trying to piss him off right now. Because here was my example. I said, okay, if your quarterback throws for 304 yards, they score 31 points, you have 3 touchdowns and 1 interception, and you lose, is that the quarterback's fault? Is that the quarterback's fault for losing? 3 TDs, 1 interception, 302 yards. Because that's what happened his rookie year against Aaron Rodgers. Defense gives up 34.
And Dez dropped the goddamn ball. Come on.
Well, and Dez drops the ball.
No, but him and Dez never connected.
No, wait a minute. That's Tony Romo. Hey, get out of here. Shut up.
Tony Romo.
That was Tony Romo. See, look, he's
That's still a cat. I'm sorry.
no, but that's the perception because everybody said because when you listen to Joy Taylor saying Dak does not have the skills to play in the Super Bowl, he went toe for toe with Aaron Rodgers. Okay, second one. How about against the Rams? Now, 266 yards, 1 TD, no interceptions. But your defense gives up 275 yards on the ground. Is that the quarterback's fault for losing that game?
No, he can't play both offense and defense. I mean, good golly.
And on top of it, here's another thing that's interesting when we talk about, and I'm not going to say that Dak had great games against San Francisco, but those great defenses, right? The game against Aaron Rodgers, Zeke had 125 yards. In the other 3 losses, Zeke never had more than 46. And the last one, it was 22. So if we're looking at failures in the playoffs and pointing at Dak, you also have to look at the running game as well. So back to her point, you say Dak doesn't have enough to make it in the Super Bowl. Jimmy Garoppolo, in his career, has averaged 137 yards passing, and in 8 playoff games had 4 TDs and 6 interceptions. So we're saying that guy has enough skills to play in a Super Bowl, but Dak doesn't?
I think Dak's gone toe-to-toe with just about everybody in the NFL. I mean, you look at him.
Tom Brady.
Against,
Don't forget Tom Brady.
Yeah, Tom Brady. He went toe-to-toe against Tom Brady, beat him, once, maybe twice in Tampa, against Tampa.
Here's what's crazy. If I told you that Dak Prescott has a better playoff rating than Tom Brady and has a better touchdown percentage than Tom Brady, you would say I'm smoking crack. But that's true.
It's true, yeah.
So let's see, and listen to, oh my God. I mean, so is it all Tom Brady the reason why they won the Super Bowl? I know that a couple of those years, or wait a minute, let me go back to this. Every year that Tom Brady has won the Super Bowl, he has had at worst the 8th best defense in the NFL. The worst one was the Tampa Bay one.
And they've always had a good offensive line.
And they've always had some outstanding guys like Gronk, great tight ends. And tight ends, I think having a great tight end is more important than having a great wide receiver. Maybe I'm crazy. Julian, how are you doing today?
Good, thank you. I'm glad I can tune in today quickly because next Sunday I'm Punta Cana bound.
Ooh,
Who
so
the
you
guy?
have a good
Oh
time
man.
there. Where you staying at?
Oh shit.
Occidental Punta Cana.
All right,
I
man.
was gonna say I went to a resort called RIU. Adults only. It was nice.
Oh, Rio?
Yeah, Ryu.
Rio Palace? Yeah.
No,
I
Ryu
went there.
Republica.
Oh, okay. No, I'm thinking of Rio Palace. Yeah. I went there once a long time ago.
Okay, you have a good time.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be great.
Yeah, you'll have a great time.
I'm
on
looking
that
at Jamaica in a couple months. I can't wait.
one. Yeah. I had a good time on the cruise that that was nice. That was really cool. But I'm glad to be back and working and getting myself together. And Thomas Garrett. Thomas, now Mark. What's up, Thomas? How you doing? Your mic is muted, buddy. But going through and listening to people with the way Dak Prescott, you would honestly believe that he was the worst quarterback in the history of football. And I'm sitting here looking at, and I went through with Aaron Rodgers, Jared Goff. You know, again, are we saying that Jared Goff has what it takes to go to the Super Bowl and that Dak doesn't? Dallas Gina Diva, what's up? Or Gina Dallas Diva, how are you doing? Shout out to the ladies. Because Jared Goff has averaged in the playoffs 216 yards.
He made it because he got weapons. What are you talking about? That's coach.
Oh, see, he's making my. Listen, he said you just said it.
No.
He made it because he had weapons. Thank
He
you.
was on the same team that what's his name?
See, this is what's funny is you catch him in the bullshit all the time.
Oh my God.
He said Jared Goff had him.
Yes.
Yes.
Jared Goff had weapons.
And so did
You
Matthew
saw what happens
Stafford.
when you don't have any weapons.
But he also had good coaching.
Exactly.
He also,
So how many weapons did Dak Prescott have last year
How
besides
many weapons did
CD?
Daniel Jones had last year? Come on, man.
He had Barkley, at least.
Barkley was the only
Oh
one.
my God. You
But
had
guess what?
CeeDee Lamb.
Okay, right. But guess what? They lost to the Cowboys twice.
Okay, thank you. Y'all
Okay.
lost to San Francisco.
Yes, we did. We made it
Okay,
further than you did.
so-
Okay, all right.
No.
Be that as it
No.
may.
We made.
Please
we both made
donate to the
second round
cause
of
so I can get
playoffs.
him out of my
We both
house.
made the second round of playoffs. Talking about we made it first.
Okay.
More
Okay,
will it
I
take?
didn't say y'all made it.
Miss
further.
Gibson. Shout out to Miss
We made it
Gibson.
further.
Okay.
Both
I'm
made the
just so
second.
sick of y'all comparing all these quarterbacks to Dak Prescott. It's oh my God.
Okay, so
To Dak.
Rashid, if you'd like to be part of the conversation, I welcome you to be part of it. But here you have guys like Jared Goff, who was on a great team with incredible weapons, go to the Super Bowl. Here you have a guy, Jimmy G, with great teams, and he's not doing shit but driving the bus, getting there. But we have people saying Dak doesn't have what it takes. Man, get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry. Get the fuck out of here.
You the one that said it, Rashid.
What did I say?
I don't care what nobody say. Dak done pissed somebody off.
He didn't pick. No. Everybody looks at Dak as their gravy train.
He probably done pissed somebody off, or he don't want to. They don't. He probably went on a date with some dude's woman.
I don't know if that's it or not, but everybody sees dollar signs. Trashing Dak gets you paid.
You know,
See, look, EJB says Jimmy G is better than Dak. How the hell can you say Jimmy G, who in the playoffs, okay, and all of the playoff games he's played in, he has 4 TDs and 6 interceptions
And he had a chance to win the Super Bowl. Get out of here.
and threw 2 interceptions.
He had a wide open receiver.
Had wide open receivers and threw interceptions. That's a case where, because I was there. That's a case where you say the quarterback lost the game. He threw 2 interceptions to Kansas City in the second half. That ended up. That's a case where you can look and say the quarterback definitely lost that game. And for EJB, man, get off the crack. It hurts. It hurts to say it. No, Jimmy G. Sorry. How can you say 137 yards a playoff game is better than what Dak Prescott? Dak Prescott's averaged 259 yards a game in the playoffs. I'm sorry. This is where it's perception and then there's reality. And some of you guys don't live in reality. Anybody want to chime in on me with me? Or am I out here by myself?
I think this year is going to be a great
No, I
year for
agree.
Dak.
I agree.
Now, I will say that I look at this and say this may be the most complete team that the Cowboys
so.
have.
I believe so too, Mark.
The defense, and as much as we all praise Troy Aikman and everything, he had the number one defense. Roger Staubach had the doomsday defense. We had Tony Dorsett. We had Emmitt Smith. These guys had teams that were loaded. And I don't know that Troy Aikman, not having that defense, not having that great wall of Dallas, not having Michael Irvin, not having Emmitt Smith, if he's winning 3 Super Bowls.
He's probably still 1-15.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's it. And see, it's funny. It's almost funny because Rashid makes the argument because when you say, "Oh, Dak sucks," he can't do it, and then you talk about Warren Moon. Well, he was on garbage teams, and I'm sitting there like, what do you call the 2020 Dallas Cowboys defense?
That was a good defense.
2020?
Oh, wait a minute.
No, 2020 was literally the worst defense in the history of the Cowboys.
Yes, it was.
Now, we were getting better by 2016, but we didn't have a great defense, and we saw problems stopping the run.
Yep.
And hopefully that's been taken care of. Linda, welcome, Linda. How are you doing today? All right, I'm just a little fired up here. I'm just happy to be home, and all the Dak hate that's out there. Dare to say Russell Wilson might be better than Dak. Okay, let me ask this. Is Russell Wilson winning the Super Bowl without the number one scoring defense, number one in yardage, and number one in taking the football away? He only had to throw 22 TDs.
Russell Wilson is so like 10 years.
Look at him now.
Whoa. You said that Dak Prescott's better than Russell Wilson?
I didn't say that.
I mean, seriously. When Russell Wilson has had to throw like 35 touchdowns in a season, they ain't gone nowhere. That right there alone should show you. You don't want to have to. You've had. How about Aaron Rodgers? Here's okay. Aaron Rodgers against the Lions at home this year. Win and you're in the playoffs. Against the Lions that had nothing to play for. And what happened?
They lost.
But he also could have been done with the team.
Aaron Rodgers the year before against the same San Francisco 49ers that we played against the week before. They're at home in the cold. You know how many points they scored on offense?
I think they only scored,
10.
Oh, they got a field goal. I forgot about that.
They got 10 points. And that's Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers, his last 2 years, and you can't say he didn't have weapons because he had Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones, right? Randall Cobb. I'm talking about the year before against the 49ers in the playoffs. He had Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones. They were the number one seed. They scored 10 points at home. And I have Cowboy fans that say, oh, it was cold. It's Green Bay. It's always cold. That's what they're known for, the home field advantage. Come on, man. Y'all will just make shit up to go ahead and try and make your argument.
Jeez.
I'm just...
Up there and gave him a game until we started fumbling away.
But it's hard to win a Super Bowl. It is hard. There's only been 57 Super Bowl champions in the history of football. You need everything to go right. The Eagles should have won one this past year. They had everything.
Oh, they had it all going. I was shocked to see Kansas City pull the upset.
And they threw all up on themselves.
Yep. The fans jinxed them. That's what it was.
Hey, well,
they had everything. They had everything set up for them.
Everything but karma.
Set up for them.
Their fans jinxed them because they talk so highly of them. They gave him a kiss of death.
Fuck them birds. Fly, Eagles, fly. Now we shoot those birds out of the sky. Stupid dumbasses managed to give up a 3rd and 30 to my sexy arm. Pathetic defense and team. No wonder I own those piece of shit frauds every damn year. Don't get me started on the fans. You boo me while I earned a respected award.
Karma.
Losing the Super Bowl was just karma for you fuckheads. I can't wait to drop 100 on your heads next season while being the daddy of the NFC East again.
No, I'm not.
and I go to my grave saying
Hang on, I got just something. Keep talking, Tom.
was set up to fail. They were set up to fail. I don't care what nobody say. Because they had
arrogance is a killer.
Yeah.
When you're
You know,
arrogant,
They thought they could buy their way.
they were full of themselves. They got arrogant. They got big headed. They got deep.
Sorry, I had to adjust
they were
Stacy Schubert. What's up, Stacy?
The media set Philadelphia up to fail. I don't care what nobody says.
They said who up to fail? Philly?
And the fans. You're forgetting about their fans too.
Oh, right now. Oh, jeez. You know, the Kool-Aid that they're drinking right now. I'm sorry. If they don't, at minimum, they have to win the Super Bowl. But really, win the Super Bowl and it be a blowout. That's the expectations they have put out there on the Eagles. That the Eagles, you know, they're the best team on the face of the earth. And I'm just kind of like, don't you need a little wait and see on that defense? You know, with 6 new starters, new coordinators, everybody just seems to think that, we're just going to blow through like we did last year. And I'm kind of like,
No, because now people got tape on them. People got tape on them, so they're going to be ready for them.
Yep. They'll be lucky if they can even win 12 this year.
I don't think they're going to win. That gauntlet they have starting in the middle of the season, they've got.
Oh, yeah.
You've got like 6 or 7 playoff teams from last year in a row. You know, they got us twice. They got Kansas City. They've got Buffalo, Miami. I'm trying to think. Let's see.
Don't they got the 49ers in there?
49ers. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It is brutal. It is like brutal. Now they need to start out like 5-0, because if they don't,
which they might. I mean, we're not going to. You know,
they got it easy to start the year. Yeah. Very easy.
But you hit that stretch of 6 and 7 games where they are playing those playoff teams from last year. Forget it. They'll be lucky to even win maybe 2, maybe 3 of those.
Now I think they'll get 10 wins, but that's about it. I don't see them winning more than 10.
I don't either, to be honest with you. There.
Okay, they start out Minnesota, Tampa Bay. Okay.
Minnesota may give them a game.
They'll win the first 2.
Commanders, and then the Rams.
They got the Pats week 1.
Then
Commanders might upset them.
Middle of October, it's the Jets, Miami. Now, I don't think the Jets are as good as everybody thinks they are.
I think Aaron's going to probably make them a little bit better than they were.
Well, we'll see on that one. But it's Jets, Dolphins, Commanders, that next 3. Then it's us, November 5th. They get the bye, and then they have the Chiefs, the Bills, the 49ers, and then us again. Seahawks, Giants. And then it's the Cardinals and Giants to finish off the season. That's, you know, from you could almost look and say from October 15th, you're playing really good. I will say the expectations are that the Jets should be good. Miami should be good. Commanders, okay, that's you never know what the Commanders what they're going to do because it's a division game. But then us, Kansas City, Buffalo, 49ers, us, Seattle, and then the Giants. That's a hell of a stretch.
That's a murderous row.
I mean, if you just go 500, that's still 4 losses.
Yep.
Right there. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
It's hard to say. If they can start that 5-0 stretch with relatively healthy and then hit murder's row, I think
they're going to have to. If they don't start out strong, that could be south real fast.
Exactly. They have to stay as healthy as they can, but that's
true for us too.
Well, I think we got a better chance this year than we did last year because a lot of our guys got injured in that last preseason game, and
well, we had Anthony Brown as our number 1 receiver. I mean,
you mean corner? Give me corner.
No. Noah
Brown.
Sorry.
Noah Brown.
Noah Brown. Yeah. I mean, to think that we started out the season. This is the things that are crazy to me. To think that CeeDee Lamb was the only receiver we had on the roster the first few weeks that had caught a touchdown pass. It's unbelievable that the Cowboys that we literally went in with so much unexperience in the wide receiver core. I mean, Michael Gallup's got to be better than last year. And Brandon Cooks, I don't know, when have we had a better number 2 than Brandon Cooks?
Probably Alvin Harper.
Exactly. Because remember, for a while, like Terrence Williams, and then before that, okay, we had T.O. and Roy Williams, but Roy didn't do jack.
Roy didn't do squat even after
we thought Roy. Oh yeah, we got Roy. That was the Lions tank.
No. Hell no.
Well, Claude Hunt says your O-line is trash, and that's my big worry here. We got Game Time in here. I don't know what he's drinking. What you got in the cup there? You got some liquor in there because you're getting ready to be fired up. Game Time
with Amari.
Nah, man, I just got some,
Amari. Amari was CD as a rookie. That would that would be the best then. Yeah. Okay. Amari was CD.
Yeah, Amari and CD.
And Amari and Michael Gallup. But I look at, say, CD and, right now, I'd say CD and Brandon Cooks would be better than what you had before. Either way, it's a lot better than what we had last year.
I'm excited to see what what's his name's going to call this year now that we don't have Kellen Williams.
Mike McCarthy?
McCarthy?
Mike McCarthy, yeah.
Oh, he'll be more aggressive, I think.
I think so, too.
I mean, our offense was too predictable before. I mean, all we did was ran the ball. That was it. But I think a lot of teams are accustomed to that. But this year, we're going to mix it up. It's going to confuse a lot of defenses, I think.
Well, we were so good that we were predictable. That was the problem. And I think with Mike McCarthy and Schottenheimer doing what, taking care of the offensive duties, I think, that'll change, and I think we're going to be more aggressive, and I think that's going to be big strides for us.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you see too that off-season acquisition of Cooks.
And then plus
that would not have been a Kellen Moore move.
Mm-hmm. And then plus this year we have a chance to do something that. We have a chance to do something that we haven't done since 1977. That's
good morning from the
offense and defense.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I think we're the only team that has ever done that in the Super Bowl era. Lead the league in both offense and defense, and then win the Super Bowl.
Don't sleep on our defense. We're gonna be top 5.
At least.
I said it last night.
You guys hear me?
Mm-hmm. Hey, there you go. There's Game Time.
Well, I had like a lot of stuff. It's getting ready to unload here. I had to go outside and close everything up. It's getting windy and rainy. Is it raining there, Mark?
We had a real bad storm that came through, and it's kind of cloudy.
Coming our way then.
I bought this gazebo for the grill. I bought 2 of them, and they were on clearance at BJ's, and I've had them on the deck for about 5 weeks or so, and they've been the box has been saturated. Yeah. So I was like, let me put this together because I was going to do some grilling.
Got slugs on the inside.
Oh man, it's like the cloth on it is like, ooh, it smells kind of strong there. I may need to spray this thing down a bit. But I was putting it together, and then all of a sudden the rainstorm came through. It's like, geez, okay.
So what's everybody talking about, man? It's just not much to talk about, but Twiz and his band of brothers, man, they just keep bringing it up, man. So
Eagles fly.
Lisa,
always something to talk about.
What's up,
Phil's
Lisa?
Tired of talking Eagles, but I'm like, if we're responding to the people, how could that's what they want to talk about?
Well, what I mean? I got actually from an Eagle, who from Philly 500. He commented that Boss Cowboy was comparing Dak Prescott
Warren Moon,
and and this will set off Rashid. Where's Rashid? Rashid goes crazy because he literally was like, Dawn of the Dead. He arose from the bed over there, and he was like, just started laughing. But I was sitting here talking about, because our
In
whole
what
thing
way?
with Dak Prescott is, well, Dak Prescott, is a turnover machine. Warren Moon had 281 touchdown passes to 233 interceptions.
Yeah, that's not even close.
That's like almost 1-to-1. And so, why are you kidding me?
What the
Dak is
comparisons
trash.
are between
What?
Dak Prescott and Warren Moon?
What?
They're both
Black?
black quarterbacks, and they I don't know what else you could say. Because Warren was a pocket passer. Dak is more on the move. I mean, yeah, they put up some big yardage, but Warren late in his career really put up the yardage. But he had a lot of bad defenses, but just look at the interceptions. That's all you have to look at, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't agree with that at all. Sometimes I wonder why people just throw these comparisons out, because then they welcome all the crap that we got to deal with. You know what I mean? We got to answer to it. I'm not saying Warren's better or worse, but they're not. If you would have said Steve McNair, I would say maybe that's a more apt comparison to Dak.
Yeah,
I really would.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Warren was a true pocket passer, and
he was,
and he
in a different era.
Yeah,
but
era.
Here's the thing, when I said that,
remember,
here's how you know that they're full of shit, because I said Warren Moon's Hall of Famer, more yards than had they counted his time in Canada and everything else, would have been one of the highest yardage passing and all that, but we know Canada didn't count. But his playoff record is 3-7. And his response was, well, he was on garbage teams.
But you know what I don't know what you think, or what everybody in the chat thinks. If you're going to compare Warren Moon, to me, a good comparison would be a Kirk Cousins. Because he throws a lot of interceptions, puts up a lot of stats, doesn't really do well in the big games. That's more of a comparison.
But here's the thing. Look at it this way. Okay, I want you to think about this, because people say, oh, Kirk Cousins and Dak Prescott are the same thing.
No, I mean Warren Moon and Kirk, not Dak and Kirk.
Okay, take a look at the receivers that Kirk Cousins has had with Minnesota. He had Stephon Diggs, and Stephon Diggs got replaced by Justin Jefferson. He had Kyle Rudolph as a tight end when he was good and young and stuff. He's had Adam Thielen out there. He's had Dalvin Cook rushing for well over 1,000 yards for the last 4 years. Don't those things help the quarterback?
Yep.
You'd think.
Bingo.
If you look at the weapons that Kirk Cousins has freaking had in Minnesota versus the weapons that Dak Prescott has had here, sorry, Kirk Cousins has had some way better players there.
I agree, man.
I think Houston called it the gun and shoot or something back then.
Run and shoot.
Well, you had the K gun and the run and shoot.
Yeah, the run and shoot.
I don't. Yeah. So.
Oh, I thought theirs was the gun and shoot.
Maybe it's possible. I can't.
Or was it
up.
Jerry Glanville in Atlanta?
Well, that was the K gun. Or who had the K gun?
K gun was Jim Kelly.
Okay,
Yeah,
Jim
right.
Kelly,
With Buffalo.
I got you. So I believe it was a run and shoot out of.
I think Jerry Glanville was the run and shoot.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you had the old ball coach with the chuck and duck. Oh,
Chuck
boy.
and duck.
Yeah, but Brian, you kind of missed. I kind of went off a rant because with Joy Taylor saying that Dak Prescott doesn't have it in him to go to Super Bowl, and I'm just looking at Jared Goff, his numbers, or Jimmy Garoppolo's, and it's kind of like you realize that Jimmy Garoppolo averaged in 7 playoff games has 4 touchdowns passes, and averages 137 yards passing. So are we saying that it's because of him? Or because of the team? And Rashid's like, well, of course he's got great teams and Kyle Shanahan. It's like, okay, then you're making my argument for me. You're saying that a team makes a difference.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I've been saying that this whole offseason. It's a team game, Yeah, because they're trying to say, like last night, it was a big deal with, everybody wants to compare Jalen and Dak. And Jalen is this great quarterback. Dak can't get the job done. Jalen did all of his damage last year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If anything, if you really want to get, I don't want to, but if you really want to look into it, Dallas has won the playoff games, and it's been spread apart. He didn't get hot. He won, the game against Seattle, and then he won last year. But Jalen Hurts lost the year before in Tampa badly, so much so that I keep bringing it up that they wanted to trade for Russell Wilson, and Russell said, "I'm not going to."
I'll give Jalen Hurts this over Dak Prescott. I mean, he's a better runner than Dak, but that's about it. His passing is average. When you're throwing to A.J. Brown and the two best receivers, of course he's going to make
these guys are wide. We're wide freaking open, too.
We got done saying
good was his legs. Without his legs, he ain't nothing. If you just kept him in the pocket and couldn't run the ball, he couldn't do nothing.
I will say this, Loyal. He did, I think because of his legs, it did help it, but he did his numbers from the previous year. Like I said, the year where he went into Tampa and got annihilated in the playoff game, and they didn't want to keep him necessarily.
Yeah, looking at Russell Wilson and all.
Yeah, right. Compared to last year, his numbers in the pocket went way up last year. But again, it coincides with what, people? It coincides with going out and getting a football team around him. That's not and Eagle fans get upset when I say that. That's not a demeaning. I'm not trying to bring Hurts down. He did what he...
It's the truth. Look at Dak Prescott versus before we got Amari Cooper. Same season, we went from 3-5 to, 10-7 or 10-6. Yeah.
And it's not just, oh my God, he just blossomed. No, they went out and got some studs, which is what you want every team to do. It's not, I'm not demeaning Jalen Hurts by saying he had a good team around him, because you can't do it alone in this league. If you played any football at all, even any sport at a decent level, it's a team game. Unless you're playing golf or tennis, it's a team game. You know what I mean? So if you don't have an offensive line, Jalen, good luck.
Kevin Edwards, I'm with you, brother.
The best one.
Alan Williams, what's up? Marcus Blackman, happy birthday to Marcus Blackman.
A.J. Brown's in the house. A.J. Brown, Amari said it's right. Dak is Black Kirk Cousins. No, he's not.
Again, Kirk Cousins has had some hellacious weapons to throw to every single year, okay? There's no way in the world that you look at our receiving core, CD, let's be honest here. Yeah. Going into last season, there were questions about whether or not CD was a number one. We were talking about, should he be just a slot receiver? Somebody else should be on the outside. Right? And when you look at Michael Gallup and Noah Brown, both of those guys were, I think, 118 and 128 as far as separation in the NFL. They did not get open, period. And if you have to throw into a tight window every time, guess what? You're going to have more interceptions. How many times do we see A.J. Brown halfway down the field by his damn self?
Way too many times.
Facts. That's facts. But it's not a slight. I don't mean that it's a slight that, when I said that they have a team around them. That's what you want to do. That's what we've been hammering the Cowboys, for years, whether it be Tony Romo to put a damn defense around him, or an offensive line. It seems like we can have a great one side of the ball, but we can't put it together. Shout out to the Eagles last year. They put it together, and they came real close. They didn't get the job done.
Claude Hunt says, is quarterback the most important position? I'm asking for a friend. Yes, the quarterback is the most important position, but it's not the only position.
You have to have it alone. You have to have it, for the most part, other than the Trent Dilfers of the world or the the Hasselbacks. We could debate that, but you need an elite quarterback to give yourself a chance. But what gets
you need a hellacious team around them like the 49ers.
But even if you do have a great quarterback, you need like a good team to put you over the hump, or like a player like a Charles Haley to come in. Aikman wasn't going to win anything before they didn't go out and get a guy like Haley to put him over the top.
There you go. William Tilton said, are you worried about our offensive line? Yeah, always. If Tyron Smith somehow stays healthy, we may be golden. With Tyler Smith at guard, that left side could be outstanding. And the right side, if Terrence Steele is healthy, would be pretty good. And be honest, kind of took some better steps forward last year. Potential, you could be a top 5 offensive line. Or catastrophe, you could be ass. So it all depends on health.
EJB, what do you mean Dak doesn't have a killer mindset? Oh my gosh.
He doesn't have a killer mindset. Yeah. I mean, how about after that Tampa win last year? Everybody was putting the Hall of Fame jacket on Dak when he went into Tampa and played at an unbelievable level in the playoff game. So, whatever, man. It's
on the
not
road.
Going to go away until we win it all. So, and then they'll make an excuse, but we're not going to listen to it at that point.
Yeah.
Just I can't wait for football to start.
We're getting closer
this year. I really think they're going to do it.
Yeah, and I keep saying
Chris May
really going to.
Here's on that is we need a guard. If Tyron Smith stays healthy, the plan is that Tyler Smith will be the guard. And Matt Lewinsky
is going to be on the team. We have a lot of potential on this team.
And so you can't say that. I mean, everybody's looking at that. Who's that lineman we had last year that you didn't like, Mark, that was came off the bench?
Connor McGovern, the governor?
Not Connor McGovern, the guy that played behind him.
The other guy.
Well, you got Josh Ball.
Josh Ball.
Yeah.
You don't know what I mean, everybody thought that
Terrence Steele
was going to be asked his second year. Look what happened with him.
This
Ball
is
could come back and do the same thing. Yeah, well, I'm saying his second year though.
Yeah.
Logan, I will be.
Everybody up.
He better because he's at the end of his rope. Now, I think he'll be on the team because Dallas likes to keep all their linemen. And it's a smart thing. You always go heavy on the O-line, whether you stash him on the practice squad, whatever. I mean, but if he's going to have any chance of really doing anything with the Cowboys, it would be this year. How much more do you need? He needs to step up and do it. I like our offensive linemen. All I'm saying is I like all the young guys we got, but we just need to decide and settle in on our best 5. I think the key is Terrence Steele being ready to go.
That is. Yeah.
Because if he's healthy, then now you take a big sigh of relief and you can actually slot guys in their roles. If he's not, now it's, we could do this, we could do that. And you have enough bodies to get it done, but you don't want to do that. Yeah. You want to go in with some cohesion. Not that they're going to be playing a lot in the preseason, because I got news for you. It's going to be only young guys.
Yep. Oh, yeah. We're not playing it. Nobody, preseason is becoming less and less.
Yes,
I mean, not that, used to be a quarterback would play like a first quarter for game number 2, maybe a half in game number 3. It's literally turned into, we're just not playing anybody. We're just trying to get to the season healthy.
Let me ask Brian and James this: how do you see them using Vaughn now? Does he kind of fill in where, like Tony did last year behind Zeke?
I think Vaughn's going to be a real good asset for us. I really do. I mean, I
think third down. He's going to be a third down specialist.
Okay.
Third down specialist.
He might not be the number one guy, but I think he'll play a huge part in our offense.
You know how we used to be crying about having more 2-back sets with Zeke and Pollard, and it seemed like Kellen Moore was dead against that. Yeah. Especially when you're in a 2-minute drill situation, or for I like up tempo with this team on occasion. I'm not saying run up tempo because that's not how you win in this league. But Dak seems to be very good running up tempo. In that situation, you got Pollard and you're going to flank out Deuce, or vice versa.
Right.
Okay, good luck.
I think the advantage for Vaughn is his size, because he's so small. And these offensive linemen are so big.
Darren Sproles, remember Darren Sproles?
They're going to be looking for him.
Yeah,
he's going to cut. They're going to come in blitz, and he's going to go right up underneath them, and ain't nobody going to see him. So I think he'll be good.
And his leverage, because he's so little, man.
I still say
like
don't sleep on Ronald Jones.
You think Ronald Jones will be a?
If he makes the team, yeah.
If he makes the team, but I still look at him and say he's averaged 4.3 yards a carry in his career. He doesn't have a lot of miles on him.
And I don't think his line that he played with was any better than what we had.
No, but you know what
I mean? So
if we had gotten If we had gotten 4.3 yards a carry last year from Zeke, that would have been a whole lot better. A hell of a lot better.
The only thing I would say about Ronald Jones possibly not making the team is because we got Malik Davis. Malik Davis has never really had a shot. They should have played him in the playoff game when Pollard got hurt.
Yeah.
He looks really good. And, they're going to go with a draft pick over a guy like Ronald Jones. But you know how it's going to – I mean, things are going to happen in the preseason. You have to play somebody, okay? Rico can't get every carry, Rico Dowdle. But, let's just see what it shakes out injury-wise, because things have a way of working themselves out where they're all going to be on a team in one way, shape, or form, whether it's stashing somebody on the 6-game IR, something stupid like that, just to be smart. That's how you keep your team deep. But yeah, I love.
We'll be here before we know it.
Yeah, man, it's coming quick.
The end of the month, it starts the preseason.
Bad out here.
Yeah, like Hall of Fame game.
Yeah.
Who's playing in that one?
Cleveland and the Jets. Cleveland and the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, not that any startles
game time, but this depends.
Yeah, I got to talk to Mark and just make sure he still wants to do it. I think.
I definitely want to. I do have a lot going on, but
I know he's
by the end of the month.
Don't feel obligated.
I mean, we're talking about going up Thursday and coming back Sunday, so I can do that.
That's not too bad.
I can do that.
If we leave your house Thursday morning, right?
It's about a 6-hour drive.
Okay.
Lola, Miss Hot Sauce, what's up?
I might get there the night before.
You can do that too.
I'll sleep next to Rashid. So, just don't fall asleep before I do. No, just joking. So.
Do you think if we got Tony and Dak signed and free up cap space, we might trade for an O-lineman like Quentin Nelson from the Colts?
This team's not going to do that, man.
No, I don't think so. I think the Cowboys, they feel good with what they have right now. And we have to kind of trust the process. I hate to say that term, but last year we were killing them and saying we need to go out and get some more people, but, they played a hell of a lot better than what we thought they would with the moves they made. Unless
we suffer, I don't like talking about it, but, like if we suffer a major or a rash of injuries for some reason, then all options are on deck. Of course, you're going to go out and get a veteran to come in, but I still think they would rely on a guy like Jason Peters. He's only a phone call away. He's on the Rolodex. He's on the short list. Stay ready. If something were to happen, we'll bring you in. He's probably on board with that. So,
yeah. Now, it's looking more and more that Tony Pollard is going to be on the franchise tag. We've heard nothing about them even talking about it. And
he's going to be on a second one.
Well, there's rumors that Miami made an offer to Dalvin Cook, and it wasn't a very high offer, and he turned it down. If Dalvin Cook can't get, and I have no idea how much it was, but let's say hypothetically they offered him about $4 or $5 million for a contract. To me, that says, Barkley, we're not paying you $12 million because, nobody's getting paid. Josh Jacobs, he's not planning on showing up. He's not going to get a deal done. He's not going to show up till week 1. And more than likely, he'll be out there free. Tony Pollard will be out there free. So why would you go through and get a long-term deal done with Barkley?
I don't think he'll be there for game 1 against the Giants, to be honest with you. I think he's going to hold out.
Well, I don't understand the whole running back dynamic right now. I mean, I get it. You don't want to be having a contract like Zeke Elliott's where it was $16 million cap hit. But some of these guys, I mean, we're talking about $10, $11 million. That's chump change in today's football salary cap. I mean, we're talking about them now getting paid like kickers. Ronald Jones,
Speaking
$1 million.
of kickers, what do y'all think of that kicker we signed out of the USFL?
Oh, I watched him on the USFL. Boy, damn, he was good.
Well, hopefully he can do that with us.
The only problem is he could not hit long distance from 50 out.
Well, he was 14 to 15 for field goals.
Yep.
And he made every PAT.
Point. Yep.
So So that's big.
I would take that over Brett Maher, Miss Me Maher.
Yeah. I think they're going to hold off on Maher, Gold, Crosby. They're going to hold off on all those guys.
And see what the other guys do in training.
Yeah, that's smart business. Just there's no reason to bring them in now. The only thing is, if this guy don't work out and other teams, pick him up. Yeah, that's why I don't. Sometimes I don't understand what Dallas does. You would think you would want to have a guy locked in, a veteran, to make a long run. Why mess around with something like
which has been kind of their Achilles heel for several years now.
I mean, all right, let's fast forward, and we're in a divisional game, or I know Eagles fans, hold your breath. We're in a championship game, and it's a field goal game. Don't you want a Robbie Gold or a Mason Crosby kicking for you? Or I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying that that's where my mind goes. But whatever. I'm not going to lose sleep over a kicker this early. I'm glad they brought somebody in to compete with Tristan Vizcaino, who I don't think is the answer. So
no, he wasn't.
He shows flashes, but if you got Super Bowl aspirations, you tell me the last team that went with a kicker that
was
flashes. Yeah, you can't. So
I know how bad it was at training camp watching the kickers. It was just like, my God.
Yeah.
35-yard field goals and they're wide right. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? This is the best we could do? So we'll have to see. But did you get multiple cameras here, Brian? You switching cameras left and right on us.
Yes, I am.
The fudge?
Why am I throwing you off, man?
Yeah, man. I was like, I just boom. You're one angle.
I'm just sitting there messing with all my.
You got new toys there. Oh, sex. Yeah. Okay.
Look, I got my virtual background. I have to upload some. I have to load some stuff. So
looks nice. Looks real nice.
But yeah, I'm getting there, guys. But I had a question for you guys. Is there going to be something? I feel like the Players Association is going to file suit against these owners for collusion. Do you?
This I know exactly what you're about to say.
Don't you think that there's some serious collusion going on? You mean nobody wants to give D-Hop a contract? Nobody wants to give a 27-year-old Dalvin Cook, who's a really hell of a running back. Yeah, he gets banged up, and so does most other running backs.
Yep.
So
4 years in a row, well over 1,000. I don't know.
Nobody's paying receivers, running back. Well, no, I should say that they're not paying older receivers who aren't on or outside of their rookie deal. I should say. That's crazy.
Yeah, something is going on.
Something's fishy, man. Something's rotten in Denmark.
I think is what's the biggest contract that's been?
That they're not addressed. Yeah, something is going on that they're not addressed.
Yeah, I don't know, but it is kind of freaky if you ask me. So if I was at players union, I'd be highly upset of what's going on. I would want to get to I would want to have some sort of investigation. As a fan, hey, that's great, but these players, I mean, if you're Dalvin Cook, I mean, you're saying to yourself, what do I have to do? All I do is run for 1,000 yards every year. Yeah, I get hurt, but since when is that? You know what I mean? I just don't understand.
Well, not only Dalvin Cook, I mean, you got what's his name?
Dalvin's 27. That's the thing. Yeah. Zeke is what? He's 30 or 30. Close to 30. So 30, it's like,
no,
Zeke, what about that?
I think Zeke is 28.
Is he 28? Okay.
Yeah.
As soon as I said that, I said maybe he's 28.
You gotta remember.
He came out of sophomore year.
Yeah.
He came out of school early.
Yeah.
Who was that Cardinals receiver they let go?
D-Hop.
D. Hopkins. Yeah.
Yeah. Well. He's getting lowballed by now. It's supposedly a competition between Tennessee and New England. So, we shall see about that. But it's not what I thought the market was going to be. But we said, I thought
those guys would have been gobbled up in a heartbeat.
But yet, look what Baltimore gave. It makes no sense. Look what Baltimore gave. What's his name?
LBJ.
LBJ.
Oh yeah.
Oh my Lord! 15 mil a year.
That one was kind of like
nobody. They were bargaining against themselves.
Yeah, that one didn't make sense because when you start looking at some of the numbers, of course, Derek Carr got 37 a year. That's the highest one for 4 years. Right tackle Mike McGlinchey got 17 a year. Hargrave got 21 a year. He was actually one of the bigger contracts. And you think about Randy Gregory last year got 75. Okay. Yeah. Randy Gregory got 75 million last year for 4 years. Terry Lee, shout out to Terry Lee. Appreciate it, bro. Jimmy G got 24. Tremaine Edmonds got 18.
I can understand quarterbacks.
But quarterbacks, yeah. But you're looking down the line. It's offensive linemen are the ones that really got paid.
Yeah.
And corners and young receivers. Outside of that,
Bradbury got 12. Cameron Sutton got 11. I'm just sitting there looking. There weren't a lot of big free agent contracts this past year. And that's where you kind of wonder. You just think about how it was last year. The movement that was out there and the money was just flowing like crazy. This year, it's been pretty quiet. Teams are kind of like, screw that. And I don't know if that's the Dallas Cowboy effect where people looked and said the Cowboys didn't spend a whole lot of money. And, we thought they were going to be ass. They believed in their own homegrown talent. And in thinking about that, here might be the problem of why you're better off keeping your guys. Because you don't work out much anymore. Bringing in a whole lot of new players, having to learn your system and fit in, there's no time to really get them to be adjusted. It's not like you have training camp that's 6 weeks long and 2-a-days where you can really, teach them everything. There's 14 padded practices in training camp.
Yeah,
that's it.
Crazy. That's crazy.
DMV, long time no see, bro. How you doing in the house? Dwayne Sweet, NFL vet. He would be leaving 2.0 then. All right.
He'd have to go up to NFL vet. Earlier comment.
Yeah, I'm with you though, Brian. That it seems like this year, that the owners said, you know what, we got all this money coming in, but we don't want to get crazy with the stuff because that's what it was last year. It was just how big a check do you want us to sign to get this guy? Because it was just crazy.
I think they're nervous about the Sunday ticket because YouTube TV has it now and it's going to cost more, so they trying to figure out how many people are going to order it.
Well,
I know I'm not.
I tell you what.
Yeah,
so far I am ecstatic with YouTube TV.
Yeah, because I want to talk about that when you're done your thought here about it.
Well, I have it right now. Now I don't know if they're going to have glitches when the season comes, like DirecTV did, because last year DirecTV was ass. I got it because I want to follow the Giants and the Command. Well, the Commanders are always on here, regardless. Well, pretty much the Cowboys are on almost every week, so I'm keeping my Verizon just in case. But I want to be able to get all those other games.
I did hear this, that all the bars and restaurants, they're still going to get the Sunday ticket through DirecTV. That's where they were smart. But everybody else is going to have to get it through YouTube TV.
Yeah.
Really?
I didn't hear about okay.
So all the bars and restaurants
DirecTV
is getting red zone.
They'll still keep it through all the bars and restaurants.
I hope. No, I dropped all of my cable. I only have streaming now. So I did get the NFL ticket, but I've been watching YouTube TV, and they have this feature where it'll have ESPN, ESPN2, Fox, like a quad box, and I got a big TV, so I could watch 4 things at once. Now, I normally don't like doing that, but I hope that they incorporate the NFL ticket with that. So on my 80-inch TV or my 75-inch TV, that would be nice if they incorporated like the quad box,
Right?
with 4 different games right there, because they did say this year they're going to allow us to stream more than 4 games.
Well,
Not
see,
that I will.
Here's the thing with DirecTV last year was like, unless you had a cable box, you could only stream one other game. I had one DirecTV box, and then I could only stream one other game. Now I had Verizon, so I still had 4 games because of that. And I'm happy that I don't need to have all the HDMI cables out there. So you know, once I get,
I'm sitting here, I got 3 screens in front of me. I got my TV, I got a TV on that wall, and I got another computer over there. I could potentially be sitting here, you know, at least I'll be able to at least
watching all of them.
You know what I mean? Not that I want to watch all those games, but if there's Eagles game on the same time with the Giants or something.
Oh no, I loved it. Sitting out in the back there and watching all.
Yeah, I enjoyed
that
it.
Was
but
great.
I mean, I had to make sure I got a nice couch for the other room, so she can and a TV, so I can basically run this whole area.
Yeah, so I like it because I can watch it, you know, and probably I could Verizon if I end up knowing how, but I'm old and technology challenged. But going down to the Red Brick House, I'm streaming YouTube TV, or from my in-laws' house, I'm streaming it there. So I'm just taking that package everywhere I go, and I like it. I mean, I was using it out on the cruise ship, you know, which was crazy. So yeah, and it's still a lot cheaper than what DirecTV was. And I don't have to have that satellite dish.
And you actually, well, you may not, but I actually use that as my, you know, I watch it. So it's not only good, but it's something I watch. Whereas DirecTV, I never watched it all year. I remember shutting it down for months out of the year, but still paying the monthly fee, and then turning it back up.
What's up?
He said, "What's up?" Back to you, Jasmine. Shout out to Jasmine. Another one. Hey, DMV. He said you could call and text a brother.
I see you almost every day.
That was his words. His words, not mine.
Lola says YouTube TV is trying to get their money back.
Well, you know,
I think they're going to be fine.
I think. Well, here's the thing: that they had the pre-sale where it was $100 off. Now the sale it's $50 off until September 18th.
Think about the money that they're banking and just sitting in escrow, all the upfront money. I understand they had to pay, the NFL all this money, but I think they're going to be fine. They're not dumb.
Think Amazon wants to get some money back. Is the one who really wants to get some money back because they got some bad games.
The Thursday game is horrible.
When it first started, it wasn't bad, but then after that, it just started
as a fan
worse every week.
I love having a game on Thursday, but it's normally not a good game. That's the thing.
But see, here's where I think the NFL is stupid about that, though. But no, honestly, I don't understand. Knowing the NFL is about money. Okay, here is the perfect scenario to make it a win-win for everybody. You could say, we care about the players, so what we're going to do is we're going to put another bye weekend. The season is now 1 week longer, so everybody has 2 bye weeks. If you play on Thursday night, you have a bye week before you play. That way, you have enough time for the guys so that their brains don't get scrambled like, Tua, playing on Sunday and then on Thursday night and get bounced off the turf, right? You get an extra week of football because I can guarantee you, even though your team isn't playing, you're going to still be watching football. And you can turn around and say, we care about the players. We don't want them to play on a short week. What would be so bad about doing that? It's more money for the NFL. It's a whole nother week. The players would love it because now we don't have to play back-to-back games. If you're on the road and have to play Thursday night, you got to get back home on Sunday. You got to have a day to at least try and get out of the bed. Tuesday is normally your off day. You're now trying to get ready. Wednesday, you might be traveling. How is that even fair to put your body through that to play it on Thursday night? There's no time to game plan. There's no time to heal. And that's why you get ass games.
Ass.
That's my opinion, at least. But, the NFL.
It ain't going nowhere.
You're right. It ain't going nowhere.
If you're going to play them on a Thursday, play the teams that are close.
I think,
home.
yeah. I think it's. I think the problem, with that, Troy, is they, you fall in love with certain matchups on prime time. So then now you're basically have to figure out a whole schedule for everybody, still have your games that you want to have. So the mileage thing, there's a reason why Dallas is one of the highest mileage teams every year. And we're not making it an excuse, but Dallas is, I think, number 2 this year as far as travel miles.
Yeah, just playing in our division, they get traveling across the country to play any of them.
Yeah. So, but it's not going nowhere. But I think Mark brings up a good point. If we add the second bye week, not the second, but just I think that makes sense, man. They used to have 2 byes, didn't they?
No,
didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They did.
Yeah, I thought there was a short period of time where they did, but that was before we added a game. Yeah, that was before we added an extra game. So now it makes sense.
Yeah, one year they did have 2 byes.
Yeah, back in the 90s.
And that was 16. Now we're playing.
We're 17.
Playing 17
with one.
So add a second bye. Listen, man, who cares that we play the Super Bowl a week later? It don't mean nothing. There's all that downtime.
As a fan, I'd be happier. That's one less week we got of an off season.
Normally in a warm weather city, usually, except when they were in MetLife and in Dallas, and it snowed and they didn't know how to handle it.
Well, Twiz, in a way, they have kind of upped the rosters with the practice squad and stuff, and being able to move those guys back and forth. That's their way of actually increasing the roster without technically increasing the roster. Because it used to be basically your practice.
Is it your game day?
Yeah.
That's not your game day, right? Your game day is what, 47?
Yeah.
47.
So it's even harder, but I like what they're doing this year, but it's going to be horrible. It's actually good for the young guys. Don't expect any regulars to play in the preseason because there's no more cuts. There's no cut downs. You get to carry your players all the way down to the last cut date. There's going to be one major cut. So it's going to be feverish. These front offices think they were busy. That's where like a front office like ours that we invest so much money in that front office and have the manpower and lady power that comes in handy in a situation like that. So
Liberty Bell changed your name. Shout out to you. And Jack and Angie Meeker, appreciate it. I'll be honest. I'll be 100% honest. I miss being at the Red Brick House at the moment. I'm happy to be home. It's been great to be here arguing with Rashid and bitch slapping him with his takes on Dak Prescott and stuff, and seeing my kids and all that, and my fish pond. But I miss working on the house, man. I really do. Just seeing it change. I just can't wait to be there and actually, talking about Cowboys and my setup there and stuff. So, but I appreciate you becoming a channel member and the super chats and things.
Yeah, Jack, I met him on Twitter. I think I'm going to take credit for this one. I think I think I brought him over.
Well, I appreciate that.
No, I don't know. I could be wrong. But, I would say that you need another set of hands, man, to help you with them walls. Man, I don't know how you're doing that. Shout out to you.
What, the plaster, you mean?
Oh, dude, that's...
Well, I can only do it for about 3 to 4 hours after a while.
All over again, right? In the finishing?
Now, it'll be easier. Well, downstairs is not as much space, and I've done some of that. But you got that hawk, and that's basically like cement. So you got that hawk, and then you got the other hand. The finished coat is actually very, very light, so it's not as much. You don't put as much on the walls.
It just seems like that's painstaking, but you seem to get it down. You have it down.
I'm getting better with it, yeah. And those walls won't be perfect, but you know what? They look a hell of a lot better. What's
the mantle being black?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about too.
Okay.
And
I know
we just haven't gotten that far. Tracy's gotten all the windows and everything.
Didn't really care for the black, but I think she likes it now, correct?
Oh, she did not like it because when I painted the first, she's like,
well, I remember seeing that. But you got to let it sit.
That's and it grew on her. Then she painted a window and was like, "La." She's like, "Oh my!" She's like, "Oh my God, that looks so good."
Black. It has to be black. Tell Mark it has to be black. I'm like, well, listen, Mark gonna do what he's gonna do.
Oh shit!
The boss said she don't want black. It ain't gonna be black. So
Yeah, it's one of those things. It starts out, at first it's kind of like, and then after a while, okay, I see that it's coming together good. But as we get ready to roll on through here, are you guys satisfied with the roster? You know, I think the Cowboys have done actually bringing back the players that we did because, you know, for a while there we were worried about losing Hankins. I think, you know, nobody has a perfect roster. You can look at the Eagles and say their linebacking core is a question mark. And I still don't believe that they have the best secondary, as good as secondary as they think they do. Yeah. You know, it's all subject. I mean, with our receivers, we're still putting up 40 points. Okay, you know, with Dak Prescott in the last 3 years. I mean, last 3 games with them. Offensive line still worries me. But I look at my defense and say they look like they're stocked. I think Brandon Cooks is going to be a major upgrade. I think having Stephon Gilmore out there instead of Anthony Brown, I think that's a major upgrade. If you're a quarterback and knowing the safeties that we've got back there right now, and with Diggs and Gilmore, where are you going with the football? I don't know where you're going with it because I think we could possibly lead the NFL in takeaways again.
My only fear, and I was going to wait for somebody else to talk. I feel like I'm always hogging up, the air here. But my only concern is, I think teams are really going to try and run to the edges on us, and that was our one weakness last year. You know. Other than D-Law, our ends need to, play the run as well as going to get the quarterback. But yeah, if we can put them in long down and distances, again, where are you going to throw at? You know, I understand Bland is only in his second year, but okay, so is he the weak link? The guy who caught, who had 5 INTs in 10 games as a rookie? Okay, then that's our weak link. Then go get him. But I'll roll with that matchup.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. So we'll see. Let's just get it going and stay healthy.
I think if they can move Parsons to end full time rather than
shots fired, Mark.
What happened?
Elena Walker says, Mark, why your sentences always start with Eagles? Question mark.
Basically,
fuck them birds. Fly, Eagles, fly. Now we shoot those birds out of the sky. Stupid dumbasses managed to give up a 3rd and 30 to my sexy arm. Pathetic defense and team. No wonder I own those piece of shit frauds every damn year. Don't get me started on the fans. You boo me while I earned a respected award. Losing the Super Bowl was just karma for you fuckheads. I can't wait to drop 100 on your heads next season while being the daddy of the NFC East again.
I get called by Philly 500 daily and stuff, and then it's always Mark Holmes is talking about the Eagles. Well, first of all, you got to know your enemy, and you are the enemy. Are we supposed to ignore you? We're not supposed to think about you? We're not supposed to talk about you? I'm sorry. You Eagle fans are some of the most sensitive ass biatches out there. You just are.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. I'm going to be nice.
You're going to be why?
I'm going to be
They're not nice.
I'm going to be nice. Nice. They're spending their time with us, so we could defend ourselves like I did last night.
They got nowhere else to go.
Well, they could go over to Philly's channel and.
Nah, he just keeps he doesn't do too many live streams. He just keeps making videos about how great they're going to be.
Oh my God. Every move the Eagles make. Oh, I think that this is
the front runner.
Lordy.
Every position, Christ. Like they're 4 deep in every position, and they're all going to come on the scene and be the best thing since sliced bread. Hey, I understand it's a dog days for everybody. So,
but he was talking about their linebacker.
Nakobe Dean.
Yeah, I think Nakobe Dean is going to be the defensive MVP of the team.
Based on what? Not being
He's going to be a Pro Bowler. It's like dude had like 13 tackles last year.
Well, he was. What? And we're talking about it because it was brought up in a chat. So if it ever comes up, but he made a video like talking about how he thinks these young guys, how he did a great job replacing all the guys they lost. Okay, so you're telling me that Jordan Davis is going to be as good as Javon Hargrave was. Jordan Davis couldn't stay on the field. And we're talking about this year.
He's
I mean, he
not
could
going to stay
couch.
on again this year.
I mean, he could like couch it and go, I'm talking over the life of his career. Okay, but you're in a season where you're the favorite, basically, or one of the favorites to go to the Super Bowl. So why would you? Okay, you're going with a guy, Jordan Davis, and you're going with Jalen Carter, who dropped to the number 10 position in the draft because of his character concerns. So now we're going to rely. Now we're relying on both of them. You don't have and you have Fletcher Cox, but Fletcher Cox is 33. He's done. I mean, this is it for him. He was good next to Hargrave. So what I'm getting at is Jordan Davis needs. He can't. We don't. You guys don't have the luxury to. We hope he plays. No, he has to play at a high level, or you're in trouble. But Philly wants to make it loud. How we set them up perfect. They're looking good. They're going to be even better. In a perfect world, yeah, you're right. Is the NFL perfect? You know that when you're thin, that's when you get yet another injury at a certain position. That's just the way it works. So we shall see, man. I like our depth. Let's put it that way. I'm nickel and dime, and I'm nitpicking of what I'm concerned about. Honestly, my main concern is the O-line and our defensive ends playing the run. Because if I'm an offense playing our defense, you don't want to get into a situation where you have to pass. Mark just said it, right? You want to run the ball, and he set up third and shorts. This is why running to the edges, we got to be able to stop that.
That's where Parsons would fit in great as an end.
Yeah, well, again, you saw what the Eagles did to Micah. That I'll give the Eagles credit. They played games on him and they had him going nuts. So
yeah, but that's why we need somebody that can go right up the middle. One of those DTs.
Yeah,
those DTs need to push.
This is all the stuff that we got to look forward to. And I'm excited about the season. This is everybody. Eastside Harold should be excited right now. Everybody should be excited. Everybody's 0-0, and we're all. This is the season of optimism. So until it's not, so let's go.
You're right.
I'm ready. I'm ready to roll.
And we really don't know anything until about the middle of October.
Ooh, I like that. Comment.
People will get excited that, oh man, this team, remember like the Cardinals starting out one year 4-0. Oh my God, the Cardinals are great. And they proceeded to lose every game after that. It's like, okay. But, it's football. Anything can happen. We started out 3-5 and ended up being, the division champions.
Yep.
Go figure.
It'll be fun as the season gets closer because we can revisit, what's going to happen. But, I think the Eagles are in a position to get out on us again. But if they don't, that's what will be interesting. If they stumble a couple times in the first 5-6 games, they need to go 5-0. Looking at their schedule, you need to go 5-0, 6-1. If you don't, then watch out. So early on, I'm curious to see how they're going to do with the new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. A lot of changes. Curious to see. So,
yep.
That's all I got.
It's going to be fun regardless.
It will be.
All right, let's get some final thoughts before we roll on out of here. I got to go out here. I'm going to do some shish kebabs on the grill and things and relax a little bit this evening and then back to the grind tomorrow, working on the ladies' kitchen. I'm excited that we have 60 days and 2 hours until kickoff of the first game. That's it.
Wow.
60 days and 2 hours and 22 seconds.
Getting close.
It's getting real close. And training camp, 2.5 weeks away.
Yep. It's going to be exciting.
Anybody surprised that Hopkins is still out there as well as Dalvin Cook?
Yeah, I'm very surprised. But we already talked about it, that there's obviously something going on. The collusion wise, there's something going on. Now, I did hear, but it's funny you only hear this now. I am hearing more and more that Hopkins is very aloof, not a great practicer, yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that all goes into my argument. Why are we like, there's no reason to badmouth that guy. You don't have to say why or leak out why you don't want to sign him. Just don't sign the freaking guy. I don't like that. That's just me.
Yeah.
I don't like that. These guys are their own business, man. And if you don't want them, you don't have to have them. That's the beauty of free agency. But don't bash the guy. But I am surprised. He'll be on a team, just not for the money he wants. And let me ask you, do you want a guy who's not happy? That's the thing. This is a Jerry Jones tactic. Why, or not Jerry, this is Stephen Jones thing. Why are we going to lowball every friggin' player? Sometimes you have to make a player happy. Now, we do it when we don't, whether it's Jalen Smith or, we do it when we probably shouldn't, but why are we lowballing everybody like a Jaron Kearse last year or a DeMarcus Lawrence? You know what I mean? Why are we lowballing everybody? D-Hop, is he going to be happy playing for the veteran minimum?
Mm-hmm.
He's probably going to be like, nah, I'm injured. I can't go. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want to roll that dice.
Yeah, I think him and Dalvin Cook, I don't think they're going to be getting the money that they think they're going to get.
They're not. They're contemplating, his shitty contracts right now is what they're doing. Probably talking to their family saying, should I just retire? The hell with this.
The thing I'm going to be excited to see is how Gilmore helps that defense.
Yeah, me too. These are all things that other people are overlooking, and on paper it looks great, but we got to see it. Just like Brandon Cooks, we have to see it, right?
Yep.
We have to see it.
Yep. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody. Game time. I was listening to you guys coming up the road, so I couldn't comment while I was driving and things. But great conversation that you guys always have. You're always putting in the good work and stuff on it, and I appreciate you being a friend. And hopefully we're going to be going to the Hall of Fame here in a few weeks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it if we go. And we'll talk more off air, but yeah, absolutely.
And Troy Daniels, I'm glad to see you're doing better,
man,
and slimming down and healthy. Oh, it's alive behind me. It's alive. It's alive. Rashid is alive. Thomas Garrett, man.
About ready to go.
Appreciate you as always there. And we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Tomorrow night we'll be doing our live stream from here, as always. I appreciate